Shavua Tov. I'm coming on the heels of Shabbat for Parashat Vayigash, and I wanted to make a recording in regard to Melech Shelomo, that's King Solomon, his many, many wives and concubines, the ban on conversions that happened in his time period, and the what I perceive to be an inconsistency in the law in the Talmud. Maybe I'm misreading it. Probably I'm misreading it, but at least it will provide a platform to go and do further research. So, in regard to Melech Shelomo, he's said to be wiser than everyone else. That's the language that's used about him in 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 11. However, he was also a man. He was just a human being. Iyob says about human beings that they're few of days and full of trouble. This is in chapter 14, verse 1. Thus, could be an easy explanation for why he married so many women and had so many concubines. Some say that this was the reason he did this. The motivation for marrying so many women was to basically try to have peace within his monarchy, basically marrying as many dignitaries' daughters as possible. However, I think that this teaches that the ends don't always justify the means. This is more of a case of being so wise that you're stupid, along with the fact of thinking with his other head. So the rabbis, they have a tremendous inconsistency, and that they claim, on one hand, that Shelomo had all these women, these side pieces essentially, converted, because they can't imagine a king that's married to so many non-Jews. Has v'shalom, he'd be sleeping with so many non-Jews. So on one hand, they have them all converted, but on the other hand, in Issura chapter 13, halacha 15, and you can read pretty much the whole chapter leading up to it for more context. The halakha, based on the Talmud, the Rambam brings and explains that there was a ban on conversion during the time of David and Shelomo. And so, I don't know, maybe it was after Shelomo met his quota of 1,000, he closed the Beit Din, I don't know. In any case, one interesting note is in the halakha, it states that it was like, because there was this fear of converting for ulterior motive, because the power of the king, and they were basically just like coerced by the power of the king. But I'm gonna read this halakha that's stated in the Talmud, and the Talmud Bavli in Yevamot 24 side B. There's a discussion in this chapter about people who are coming to convert for false motives, and if you start at the first sugya, which is starting with the Mishneh, it's going over cases where people come to convert for ulterior motives, meaning for marriage, or out of fear, like in the book of Esther, where the Jews came into power, and it says that out of fear the people became Yehudim, or to marry a Jew. So it's like ulterior motives. So the conclusion of this discussion in the sugya on line 6, if you go to Safari on 24b. In line 6, it actually states the following. This is the conclusion of those who are coming to convert with ulterior motives. It states, halakha kedivrei ha'omer kulam gerimhem, meaning the halakha is in accordance with the statement of those who say that all of them are converts. So it's interesting that this statement is there, present in the Talmud, and I think this makes sense as to why Harambam eventually concludes that even people who convert and go into avodah zarah the next day, they're still considered as Jews. Or even in the chapter 13 of Issura, where it basically states they're gerim, but we don't approve of their gerus until they have evidence that they live according to the ways of Israel. So, any case, going back to Shelomo, I think regardless of the positive or negative view about him, we can really learn a lot from his story. His story serves as a backdrop for the laws of kings in the Torah. The story also gives us an impetus, some inspiration to learn the laws of Giyur, and it teaches us that no human is exempt from human temptations and mistakes. Shavua Tov, and thank you all for listening once more. I really appreciate it.